So if it's one thing that I'm learning throughout my life, it is humbleness. Accepting that you are no better than anybody in this world. Because at the very end of the day, we are all part of one race, the human race. Have we forgotten about that? We are all born in the same life cycle, and we are all born on the same earth. We are all in a human body. We have the same necessities to life as every other human. And we all each have the same body parts that make up a human. So, how exactly are we better than anybody? What makes us better? Because we have more of something? Regardless of speed, regardless of strength, regardless of intellect, regardless of money, regardless of fame, regardless of skin color, what makes you better? None of that does. None of that makes you any better than the next human that is born in this world. Nothing, regardless of age. You might be older, you might have more knowledge, you might have more experience, but does that make you the better person than just a child that's growing? No. Because he is going to have his moment to grow and experience possibly the same things as you've experienced. So that does not make you better. You might be different, you might be unique, you might be special. You might do things more efficiently than somebody else. You might do things differently than somebody else. But that still doesn't make you better at all. It never will. I really hate when people believe themselves to be better than somebody because of things that they have. It's like, let's look at it this way. If I shot you, if you are this millionaire, this rich person, you got all the money, you got a big house, you got all these fancy jewelries, fancy clothes, you got security, bodyguards everywhere guarding you, but somewhere along the line, you're vulnerable because you're still a human. You are not invincible at all. So at some point in time, while you're vulnerable, I magically shoot you. Let's just say magically. But it could still happen regardless if it was magical or not. I shot you. And what happens after that? Well, the bullet's gonna penetrate through the frail human tissue, and it's gonna damage whatever it hits, and you're gonna be bleeding. You're gonna be in pain. You're gonna endure suffering. Meanwhile, everybody around you might hurry up and try to rush you to the hospital. But in the meantime, all that money, all that fame, all that security cannot save you from the inevitable end that we all face. All that stuff. Take away everything that made you feel better, and you'll feel like you're not better than anybody. When in actuality, you were never better than anybody to begin with. So what if you got $1 million? That still doesn't make you better. So what if you can buy some more things than somebody else? So what if you could afford something so what if you can afford something and somebody else can't? That still doesn't make you better at all. Because we still have the same human weaknesses and flaws. What makes you any better, man? None of this materialism, none of that stuff will ever make you better. Just because people believe, this one thing that makes me laugh so much is that people say stuff like, if somebody has an iPhone, like how iPhone versus Android war. People that have iPhones are supposedly better than people that have Androids because iPhones are so glorified into believing that they are this magical, wonderful phone, and Androids are just cheap, old and cheap and just broken phones. And I'm like, what? Some people don't even talk to people that have Androids. And that don't make no sense. Really? That makes you really feel like you're so high and mighty? Feeling like because you got an iPhone? Shoot, I got an iPhone. I'm popping, I'm rich. He got an Android. I ain't never gonna talk to him. Never again. Because he broke over there with this Android. I'm like, I recently bought an iPhone like 2 months ago. It's been about 2 months actually. And only thing I like about it is just the camera. The camera quality is very A1. I'll say that. I had an Android all my life. I'm still an Android fan till the day I die, so I don't care what y'all say. I don't care if y'all come at me. Androids are always better. I'm not, oops, I said better. I don't like that word, better. I really don't, because I feel like the word better always puts you in competition with somebody. So I'm not going to use that word. Excuse my language. I believe Androids are more efficient than iPhones, in my opinion, but I've had Androids all my life, and I've grown accustomed to them. I've grown so used to them. Whereas switching to the iPhone, trying to discover what makes the iPhone so great, majority of the time, people always talk about the camera quality and stuff like FaceTime. And they think everything that the iPhone has is just a bootleg version of what the Android has is just a bootleg version of whatever the iPhone has. And I'm like, man, whatever. It's just hilarious hearing some things like that, man. I've known people that don't even talk to people that have Androids, feeling as though that they can't even have a relationship with that person because they have an Android, because all they want to do is possibly just FaceTime, and they can't FaceTime because they got an Android. They feel like talking on the phone is just going to be boring. Some people even cheat on people because because they have iPhones and their partner has an Android. Like, that's just insane. All of a sudden, iPhones just make you this great person all of a sudden, and everybody goes for the people that got iPhones, and no love for the people that got Androids. But hey, I've had love even with my Android. So, see, it goes its ways. And the funny part is, it's like I can have a job, I can have a car, I can pay bills, pay taxes, but if I have an Android, that makes me poor and broke. What logic is that, man? Y'all people just say some of the most ridiculous things, man. Humbleness, man. Humbleness. I wish people would accept this so much, man. I really wish people would accept this, because, man, the world would probably be more peaceful than it has ever been if people really accepted this word. Because understanding that we're no better than anybody. Just look at yourself in the mirror. You're the reflection of a human. You're no better than anybody. Everybody is just a human. That's what we all are. We're humans. So how could you ever think that you're better than somebody when we are part of the same life cycle, part of the same race? How could you ever think that? All the stuff that you have under your name does not ignore the fact that at the very end of the day, you are only a human. So nothing makes you better. Be humble, man. Be humble.